Julian Assange has staved off extradition to the U.S., at least for now. This is breaking news just this morning. This is according to a U.K. court. Let me read you a little bit of this. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has fended off the threat of immediate extradition to the U.S. after the High Court in London asked the U.S. for more assurances. U.S. authorities say Assange, 52, put lives at risk by publishing secret military documents and have for years been seeking his extradition on espionage charges. Put aside the U.S. nonsense story there. At a two-day hearing last month, Assange sought permission to appeal the UK's 2022 approval of his extradition, arguing the case against him was politically motivated and that he would not face a fair trial. In a ruling Tuesday, a panel of 2 judges said that Assange, an Australian citizen, would not be extradited immediately and gave the U.S. 3 weeks to give a series of assurances about Assange's First Amendment rights and that he would not receive the death penalty. If the U.S. fails to give these, Assange would be allowed to appeal his extradition at a hearing in May. They go on to say the ruling potentially offers Assange an extraordinary lifeline in a years-long saga that saw him shoot to global prominence for revealing to CNN what he described to CNN, what I think anyone would describe, as war crimes. So, you know, Saagar, listen, it's a victory for Assange. He gets to live to fight another day. Of course, we should not lose sight of the fact that he continues to be held in detention at grave risk to his health, which, according to his family, has severely deteriorated. And his legal prospects are still in complete limbo. Just to remind everybody, the Obama-Biden administration had decided they could not charge Julian Assange without implicating core First Amendment rights, and in particular without implicating outlets like the New York Times. The Trump administration took a more aggressive approach. They even had, reportedly, Mike Pompeo and others were even floating plans for, hey, maybe we should just assassinate this guy outright, which is complete insanity. That did not get nearly enough attention, by the way, from the U.S. press, which supposedly cares so much about press freedom, right? So Trump administration begins this prosecution. The Biden administration now has continued that prosecution and are seeking his extradition from the UK, where he has been held now for years, for 7 years, actually. Before that was holed up as a political refugee at the Ecuadorian embassy in the UK capital. So he's been 5 years in London's Belmarsh prison, and before that, 7 years in the Ecuadorian embassy. I mean, it's just insanity that is unfolding. And the reason we always want to update and keep an eye on it is not only because of the personal ramifications for Julian Assange, his young family, his brother and father, who we've met and interviewed here on the show. Everybody appreciates him. This is a human being first and foremost, but also because of the way that this tramples on First Amendment rights, and especially rights to publish information that implicates powerful people. And, as of now, collateral murder, which got referenced, in the show here yesterday with regard to the similarities to drone footage that came out of the Israel's assault on Gaza. Incredibly impactful, but the individuals who were in collateral murder, they never faced charges. And Julian Assange, for releasing that information that was in the benefit of the public interest of exposing what was happening, has been locked up now for years, persecuted for years. And his life, according to his family, is literally on the line.
Yeah, his family's been saying that here and anywhere else that you could find them. It's been 14 years. Previously, did you mention this, Krystal, about the guilty plea previous, or have you read those details? If his family had explored possibly going through that if this had gone through. But that's still very unfortunate because it sets the legal precedent for the prosecutorial direction of actual journalistic crimes. This was news that broke several days ago, and it does remain, it appears, their backup plan, and it's one which would allow him to plead guilty and possibly either have time served or spend some 5 years behind bars and then eventually be released. But given what we know at a personal level of his mental state, given what his family has told us, including here in the studio, the guy needs to be let out almost immediately. Yeah. And the case needs to be dropped against him. But don't expect anything like that to happen.
The Australian government agrees.
Yeah, we had those 2 Australian MPs on our show who were from different sides of the aisle who talked about that.
Yeah, they're calling for his release. So in any case, the U.S. has got a few weeks to make these assurances, and then we'll see what happens after that, if he's going to be able to have a full hearing appealing for extradition in May, or whether they decide at that point, okay, the extradition process can move forward, and then we'll see what happens from there. But wanted to make sure to give you all the very latest in this very important case.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you. We'll see you all later.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.